You know, it's funny, me standing here before you right now. I've thought about nothing else for 4 years but this school. This big, important school with all of its history and tradition and really super teachers. And I dedicated myself to it completely, heart and soul, believing in its power, believing in its ability to get me where I needed to go. Harvard. I thought of nothing else. Many of you out there can attest to that fact. I was on my way and nothing could stop me. And here's the really funny thing. After 4 years of slaving away, I go home today and I found this. I'm not going to Harvard. I got the tiny envelope. The one that reads, "Sorry, Paris, we're not interested. Try again next year. Love, Harvard." And the thing that's really funny here is, who in the world deserves to go to Harvard more than me? Have you seen how hard I've worked over these past 4 years? I mean, can anyone here believe that I'm not going to Harvard? I can't. I'm not going to Harvard. I am not going to Harvard. I had sex, but I'm not going to Harvard. Okay, and I have to tell you that if you asked me which of those two events I thought would be the least likely to happen, it would not be the not going to Harvard.
Paris Geller is a prime example of a wounded feminine woman who overcompensates by operating in her masculine energy. Welcome to episode 4 of our Feminine Energy series. Today we will break down how Paris's wounds shaped her masculine energy throughout Gilmore Girls. And if you've never seen the show, don't worry, everything will be explained along the way so you can find value in this video too.
But before we get started, I'm Charles.
And I'm Mel.
And we do all forms of unfiltered content.
And we make self-development fun. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a Remy Rebel today. What are you waiting for?
What is you waiting for real?
So number 1, Paris lacks true feminine nurturing and guidance. On the show, we are introduced to her mother, and from what we see, Paris was raised by someone who was emotionally unavailable, and she is a narcissistic parent.
We need a place to work.
My house is out.
Why?
Because it is.
Need a reason.
My mother is having the entire place redone. She wants all evidence of my father out of there. So unless you want to sit on no furniture while watching 3 Harvey Fierstein impersonators rip up the carpet and paint everything a ridiculous shade of white and call it Angel's Kiss, then we're going to have to find somebody else's house to go to.
Paris's parents' divorce is getting very ugly. Her dad should have just paid her mom what she wanted and this whole thing would have been over.
That's what my dad did.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, is it true Paris's mom had the entire back of her body surgically reconstructed?
Well, it doesn't match the front now, does it?
You know, I heard Paris's dad has actually got a second family in Paris. Wow. Yeah.
She sees Paris as an extension of her. So that means you need to get good grades. You need to be the best at everything so that I look good and I feel good.
You're applying to Harvard?
Yes.
No!
10 generations of Gellers have gone to Harvard. I have to go to Harvard.
Therefore, the love is conditional.
Yeah.
There was never anything nurturing between them. You could even tell there was a day where parents had to come to the school and Rory's mom was there. You know, she's always there for Rory. And you see them staring at Paris across the hallway.
You can't just leave now.
Paris, please.
At least come to my lit class.
This place is giving me a headache.
Mom.
Is your face breaking out?
No.
You have not been using that cleanser, have you? No, Dr. Yanalari prescribed that cleanser for a reason, to cleanse.
Just lit class.
Paris, with everything I have going on right now, the last thing I need to do is face a bunch of bored people who are gossiping about me. I'll see you later at home. Use that cover stick I got you.
This is her talking to her daughter.
It was just really sad, and I felt really bad for Paris in that moment.
But yeah, this already is showing us that how Paris is going to be acting throughout the show is stemming from her home.
It's very normal, unfortunately. It's actually becoming more of the norm as I meet people, and we're also victims of parents who kind of have parents.
We have a parent that is a covert narcissist.
Yeah, she's a covert narcissist, and we've learned to just accept the situation for what it is. You can't really force people to change. All you can do is take care of yourself and better your mental health and find love from within, because you realize in this world no one has your back more than you do. So that's the biggest lesson I think you can learn from parents like that.
Paris does not have the softness or the warmth that is traditionally associated with feminine energy because it was never given to her. And this can happen to a lot of people, but also some of you can come out lucky. Fortunately for us, we're not hard as a rock.
Thank God.
But we're also not the ones that are quick to run and hug people and be
I
affectionate.
That I'm not the most affectionate. I don't just it just feels weird to just be oh my God, honey. Honestly, it depends on the environment I'm in. But really, no, I'm not into it.
And that's because of our parents. Like, our mother was not an emotionally open person. She's not going to run and hug you and do all of that. So when something like that is programmed when you're young, it's very hard to untrain the pattern, but you have to. You have to.
For yourself. And if they don't care about the growth or want to grow with you, you have to really realize that you may have to become independent from them and live your own life and find people who are like you.
Yeah. The second thing that stands out about Paris Geller that shows her wounded femininity is that she saw relationships as a power struggle. Because Paris never experienced secure emotional support, she associates love with dominance and control. Instead of allowing herself to surrender to connection, she keeps men at arm's length or asserts herself as the one in control. So here's an example of when she kept a man at arm's length is when she was dating Jamie when she went to Chilton. A very respectful, nice guy. But when he started to actually try to get emotionally intimate with her and see her really care about her and treat her like a girlfriend, Paris was like, get this dirty boy out of my face. I'm trying to work. Yeah. I'm trying to get these grades up.
She's like, yeah, I'm trying to make my mom proud, mama. I love you, mama.
Love you too, Nana. And then she's like, yeah, this guy is ruining my life. At the same time, where was she? Busting it down with some old man.
Let's cut the coyness. I want to talk about you having an affair with Professor Asher Fleming and at the same time stringing along poor Jamie with no concern for his feelings.
It's not an affair.
Affair, relationship, fling, tete-a-tete, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'm very surprised by this.
How so?
You've never wanted to discuss Asher before?
Well, I don't particularly want to discuss him now, but I'm forced to.
What's forcing you?
I just ran into Jamie, and he's wandering around, lonely, missing you, scared of losing you, and you're sitting here watching C-SPAN.
Nobody watches C-SPAN. It's just on in the background.
Well, you've got to choose, Paris, because it's become pretty clear that the whatever you want to call it with the professor is not a short-lived thing.
I'd say that's accurate. And you can just call him Asher.
No, he's my teacher, so I think I'll stick with Professor.
Professor just makes him sound old.
He is old.
He's 60. Today's 60 is what 50 was 20 years ago, and he's got the body of a 40-year-old.
I really don't want to talk about his body.
She does create some kind of connection with an older man?
Question mark. And guys, we realized that she only was with Asher because of her mother and father wound. He was replacing the parental figure that she never had in her life. And a lot of girls do this. A lot of young girls will date older men thinking, oh, I just like dating older guys.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's because you think that's papa. That's what it is. You think that's your dad.
Tata.
That's your dad.
And that's the only time she kind of like
felt like she wasn't in a power struggle with men. She felt like he was of her stature.
Yeah, and that shows you how much she needs a lot of work on her mother and father wound, because she only felt safe with a man that made her feel like she had a father figure. And that's weird.
Another thing, I hope you guys noticed just how meticulous the writers were at showing us her obsession with dominance and control. When she was with Doyle, every time they go to her little roach-infested apartment and give us little clips of them, they're in competition somehow. Whether it's like they're fighting against each other, they're wrestling against each other.
You let your guard down, Geller, and I did it. I got the best of you.
I was giving a tour.
Admit your defeat.
Never. Rematch.
Challenge accepted.
Helmet's on.
What are you doing? What's going on?
When we moved into the neighborhood, we thought it would be good to take some self-defense classes.
Krav Maga, the official self-defense hand-to-hand combat style of Israel.
Oh.
Krav Maga is not about being a tough guy or fighting in a ring. It's about going home alive, no matter what.
And it's a rush.
Pads on.
Attack on 3. 1, 2.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the rest of my stuff. So I'm just gonna...
Steinbeck! Steinbeck! That's not your safety word.
I know. It's Soroyan.
You've been practicing behind my back. I love you.
They're dancing, but they're also trying to be the better dancer while dancing with each other. This relationship,
it's really concerning, and it's just not good. And also, she was only able to make some kind of attachment to him because she's so stuck in her masculine energy and he's stuck in his feminine energy, which is both signs of being wounded on both spectrums of male and female. And that's the reason why they were able to seem like they were in synergy, because masculine energy and feminine energy need each other.
Exactly. But they were in the wrong bodies, baby.
Yeah.
And then when we get to a year in the life and we see Paris's life, her and Doyle aren't together. Because no matter what, guys, even if it works out in the beginning, if you guys are imbalanced in your own energies, just because you find someone else who's as imbalanced as you guys cannot become a whole. You got to become, when someone puts tape on something, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
When you get with someone who's wounded, you're just wounded together. But at some point, one of you is going to start healing and looking at the other person like they stink.
Frankly, it was over the minute he wanted to do something creative.
Wow. You and Doyle split.
Well, he's a screenwriter now, Rory. Have you been to the movies lately?
I know.
Suddenly he's in jeans and wearing faded $200 rock t-shirts with bands on them he's never seen. He's flying out to the coast, as if this is not a coast. He drinks vodka because it has less carbs. And then he started selling things, and so I realized, oh, this is going to stick.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I'll kill him in court.
Sure.
I'll be using that Def Leppard t-shirt to clean my windows.
Paris does not know how to receive love. She only knows how to fight for dominance in relationships. That is masculine as fuck. That's masculine, y'all.
Yes, that is like 100% masculine. And this is all due to her traumas.
She doesn't like receiving, and that is in all forms, guys. Receiving doesn't have to be like giving you something. She doesn't like receiving the emotional love. She doesn't like receiving emotional care. And if you don't like to receive those things, I need you guys to reach in your pants, grab that Disney that you got, and just whip it out, just so I can be clear. As long as I knew the situation, I won't have anything to say to you. That's all. If you have a societal penis, go off, sister.
Yeah. You pretty much are doing kind of like what Samantha Jones does, and that's not good, y'all.
See, you'll notice in our Wounded Feminine Energy series, all these women have the same wounds, but the way they showcase and display them are different in their lives.
Yeah, they're all different.
And it's just how we are. So you may be showing out these wounds differently than them. That don't mean you don't have wounds, girl.
Yeah, just because you don't identify with these specific behaviors does not mean you don't have your problems.
Sorry to break it to you.
So sorry, yeah, so sorry.
The third thing that showcases Paris's wounds is that she equates femininity with weakness. But deep down, Paris Geller loves to be feminine.
Paris really believed being soft and vulnerable was the most weakest and dumbest, ineffective thing you can do. Like, the only way to win at life is to being smart and powerful, and you need to just focus on winning and making the competition, knocking your competition down. F everyone. That's the only way she saw life. Anything else when it came to femininity, softness, grace, beauty, she was disgusted.
Think about the amount of times Rory tried to advise her by telling her to take a softer approach. When Paris became editor, everyone said, I hate this bitch. We hate her. We hate how she acts. Rory's like, try a softer approach. Try to be gentle. She's like, that's how you lose. That's how people won't respect you. Paris does not see femininity as being safe. She sees it as like a threat to your life. Like, you could lose everything.
Yeah, like no one will take you seriously if you're emotionally vulnerable.
Things have been, well, not good lately.
I know.
I just didn't want them talking about me anymore. That's all.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever want to talk...
Hey, we are not friends.
Oh, that I know. But if you ever do want to talk about...
I will, if I want to.
Okay.
But I probably won't.
That's fine.
But if I do...
I'm around.
Okay. I'm going now.
Bye.
So in every aspect, she tries to be in control. When she was editor, she was wildin'. The way she had a tent, guys, she had a tent where she was micromanaging everyone's roles, because for her, she couldn't surrender the control, which is a feminine trait. She couldn't surrender control and trust the process and trust that the people on the team could get the job done. Instead, she wanted to do everyone's job. She wants to micromanage everything. She wants to be in control. She needs to dominate. And that is because she got a dang-a-lang and she's swanging that thing. I don't know, like...
There's just nothing around it. That's why, unfortunately, the guy she even did have a true crush on, she couldn't even get him, like, because she couldn't be feminine. Tristan didn't look her way. He looked at Rory's way because she was feminine. She gave off that aura that entices a masculine man. And so Paris is like, oh my God, ew, I hate Rory, how she's so feminine.
But at the same time, she wants to be feminine. She wants that. She likes when Rory is able to like help her with her makeup look, or just enjoying feminine energy. When Rory treats her like a real girlfriend and wants to hang out with her for real, do you see the way Paris's face will freeze? Like, really?
Yeah, and she'll go out of her way to hang out with Rory, even though she pretends it's because she has an assignment to do this and that, I think you actually just want to spend time with her.
Complete reaction. Well, you're in much better shape than you want to think you are.
Impossible. Where are you going? That's my food. Another half hour, please.
No, you got your hour. You need to go.
But go. Fine.
And whenever Rory's actually receptive, like that exact scene when Rory's like, oh, talking to Jess and they're saying, oh, I brought mac and cheese. And Paris is like, oh, you guys have mac and cheese? We're not allowed to eat mac and cheese at my house. Bless her heart, Lord.
I love mac and cheese.
Great.
I'm not allowed to have mac and cheese. Splurge. Come on, Paris. Stay. Do you have a 24-hour pharmacy just in case I have an allergic reaction to something?
Believe it or not, we do.
Okay. Can I borrow your phone?
It's by the door.
Hola, Paris. Voy a comer la cena de casa de Rory. Hay mucho mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's rough over there.
She's so happy to just do girly things. Like, at the end of the day, every girl wants this. Like, she's not happy being blocked.
As women, we need feminine energy. We get nourished by other feminine energy. So we need that. Like, that's why Paris pretending like she's not a human. Like, that's a lie. Okay? We see you cracking under pressure. You need it.
And I feel like what's interesting, you know, she wants to be feminine and you know she wants to be normal. Like, she kept doing things. Remember, she wanted to be a normal college kid. So she had boards on boards of different things normal college kids do. They go to parties. They do this on spring break. Like, she's trying
to fit in, but she knows that she's different. She knows that her inability to be open emotionally has made it hard for her to assimilate in society. So she only knows how to intellectualize
and control it.
Yeah, like she only knows how to intellectualize what it means to be human than living it authentically. She can't just live it authentically, which is very sad.
The fourth trait that really stands out with Paris is that she literally never surrenders control. And if you've been watching our Wounded Feminine series, surrendering control is a feminine trait because femininity is all about the flow. We're like this as women. Just go with the flow. And we trust the process because we have what? Intuition.
You have your intuition. You know what things are going to go. You trust that, like, I just need to have faith. If this feels good to me, I let go control because I know it's meant to work out in a certain way. I just trust in the universe and I trust in God. Like, we have that innate ability to really trust. And that's how we are always looked at to grow things. Businesses, look how we are needed for marriage. This is in order to have a man to have a good life. He's looking for a woman to give him that. They don't have intuition. So that's why it's so sad because Paris struggled with that. She lacked that. And all she wanted is to be that so bad.
She is constantly strategizing how she can be in control in different aspects of her life, whether it was how she's going to get into this program, what college was going to accept her. She's like, if I hit all these bullet points, this is going to work. Just like when she was trying to do the activities in college, like, it's not normal to have 5 whiteboards filled with information and looking at it as a strategy to be a girl. Like, what? She can't surrender control and just vibe. I remember Rory was like, come out with me. And she goes, what, is this on the list? Like, I'm not, like, and Rory's like, yeah, like, come vibe. I said, you can come. She's like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. But then you get happy. Like, a part of her is very happy that she's able to do that. So that's the gag.
No, that sounds great. I'll see you there. Okay, bye. Grab your coats. We're going tray sledding.
What?
We're gonna meet Lucy over at the dining hall, sneak out a couple of trays, and then go tray sledding down Science Hill. We can cross it off the list. Come on.
But tray sledding isn't slated to happen for a few more weeks.
Well, that's okay, because there might not be as much snow in a couple weeks. And Lucy and Olivia happen to be going today, so let's go.
You're sure you want me to come with you?
Paris.
Okay.
Hey, listen. Thanks for saying those things you said about me in the cafeteria.
Oh, well, I just didn't want your juvenile hysterics to muck up the whole chart.
I know.
I mean, you two are behaving like children. I thought I was going to have to put you on the naughty step or something.
Still, it's just nice to hear sometimes.
You're not going to cry, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Oh, wait, and if you fall and break your face, as many tray sledders do, don't even worry about it, because you can spend a night in the infirmary, which is another typical college experience.
Wait, what?
Come on.
And also, I realized she struggled with control, even just befriending Rory. She couldn't ever let herself be in a vulnerable position. So their friendship really never was deep. You could never really let your guard down.
The only reason their relationship was a thing is because both of them had narcissistic parents, and they were both trying to live up to what their parents set out for them. Both of them were trying to be the image that was already created, and they connected on that. They connected on being overachievers because our parents decided that's who we are, and they could only look to each other to find comfort in that part of their life.
Gilmore Girls for me, and I realized that's actually a sign of my growth, it was emotionally exhausting for me. I couldn't handle it. It was emotionally exhausting. I could not believe how people feel so warmed by the show.
Your comfort show. Y'all, we watched Gilmore Girls for the first time maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. We sat through all 7 seasons. We're like, you know what? Every fall, these people swear it's their comfort show, and we've never even watched it. We watched it. We're like, you comfortable? This comforts you? I can never watch Gilmore Girls again. I wouldn't enjoy watching them again. I've never been more irritated by people, but it's so well written, and I think their characters are well written. Like, let me not make you guys think that I think the show itself is bad.
It's a good show itself.
It's the people, they piss me off so bad.
Like, if they were real people, I want nothing to do with them is what I'm like. No,
that's where I'm getting at. Like, I hate you guys, you know?
But I also feel pity for them, hence my analysis. I know what's wrong with them. I just don't believe in being around that. Like, that's just too much for my mental state.
Paris's character arc shows glimpses of healing. She starts to trust Doyle. She opens up emotionally in small ways. And when we see her in A Year in the Life, she's successful. She's a little bit more self-aware, but you can tell she's never embraced her femininity. Like, just look at how she looked.
Yeah, looked at her. She had a really, really short hair. And as we know, that is a sign often people tend to cut their hair.
Not all the time, guys. Don't jump us. We're not saying this is
that's like some people wear it short because that's what they prefer. But overall, I do notice, you'll notice when people are in crisis or they feel like they lack control, they don't want things more out of their control. And having long hair feels out of control. So I feel like they need that removal as much as like, get this off my head, you know? Like,
and then you're in your mask.
Yeah, you're in your masculine energy. So that way you can feel more safe, especially if your environment is not making you feel like you're safe.
So yeah, Paris was never able to get in tune with her femininity. And I also think the reason she started tweaking when she saw Tristan in The Year in the Life is because of what she said before. Tristan is the reminder that she could never actually be with the guy she aspires to be because he rejected her because of her masculine vibes. He was like, ugh. And I think that wound, that reminder, like, you'll never get the guy. You don't got it. Like, that's the voice in Paris's head.
He must be here for the same reason we are.
And to hit on girls. You saw him out there, macking on that slutty biznatch.
No, you're just freaking me out. Calm down.
And he didn't even look at me. Not so much as a glance. All my education, the advanced degrees, the academic awards, all my accomplishments, the private club, the Pilates, the dermabrasions, the subtle nips and tucks, and I'm still just Paris Geller, the amazing, insignificant, invisible girl.
You've had nips and tucks?
Do not abandon me.
I'm not.
I'm pathetic.
No.
Oh, really? Check out what's in my briefcase. Nothing. I brought it because I thought people would think I was more important because I was carrying a briefcase. I'm a phony.
Because it doesn't make sense that in your 30s, seeing someone who... Tristan left the school, guys. He wasn't even there to the end.
Like, why is that so stressful for you?
You were 16.
You already had a life and that still got you. That shows how much you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't seen a therapist. Because, guys, you need to see a therapist. Like, you need to. It's very important. Like, so that's why... her not seeing that, she's literally at her grown age. She thinks she was like in her 30s at that point.
Yeah.
And you're still, you know, dealing with that. So if she doesn't see a therapist, she'll be late into her years doing that. That's so sad.
Paris Geller is a perfect example of how wounded women often resort to masculine energy as a defense mechanism. She wasn't naturally this way. She was shaped into it by her environment, her lack of nurturing, and her fear of vulnerability. Her journey shows us how women can be powerful without rejecting their feminine side. And that true strength comes from balance and not just dominance. That's what we hope to have given you perspective on, and that we hope you take away from Paris's character. And we really hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it for you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Love getting into these people because they drive me nuts.
So if you relate to Paris and you're a hyper independent girl who's like always trying to control everything in life, Please share your stories down below. Let us know what you think.
And this is your sign to get help. There's nothing wrong. Everyone goes through these things. This is why they make these shows. Get help.
Talk to someone.
Don't be a Paris where you're late into your years still dealing with these things. That's just not okay.
And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
to the Remy Diaries, aka Remy TV, your favorite YouTube streaming network, where you'll never want to change the channel. Bye.